The announcement that you made just now about the Fourth Amendment being challenged by the random search and seizure questions, could you just basically explain what you said and why you said it?
Sure. If your personal belongings, the first thing I said was that the announcement was misleading and the Fourth Amendment hasn't been repealed. The reason I said that is because in order for your belongings to simply be searched at random by the state, the Fourth Amendment would have to be repealed because the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution provides there shall be no unreasonable search and seizure. And what could be more unreasonable than the absolutely random? The reason I pointed out that the announcement is misleading is because it's deliberately intended to do so. You can object to, you don't have to consent to a random search, but if you don't object, of course, then they can go ahead and search you with your consent. The announcements help make sure that people won't object because they don't think they can. As anybody who watches police shows is aware, police are allowed to lie to you. There are certain circumstances when legally the police can search you without your consent. So I pointed those out. But other than pursuant to a valid arrest or there's something called the plain sight doctrine, which isn't really relevant here. Well, if they stop your car for a traffic violation or so forth, and they see like a bag of cocaine lying in plain sight, on the back seat, something that doesn't happen nearly as often as it's alleged to happen. Yeah, but that obviously doesn't really apply to searches of your, bags. The other occasion where they can search you without your consent is if a judge has told them they can. Right. There's a warrant.
What happens if you're called over to one of those tables and you do refuse search? I think there's a public conception that you will be, barred from getting on the train.
That's what the police have said.
Second Avenue on Houston Street, Clevestown.
I don't know if that's actually been tested in. I don't know that that's actually been tested in court. They've conceded publicly that they can't simply force you to turn out your bags. Even in press conferences with the police commissioner, they've admitted that they can't simply search people at random. Can they condition your access to the train on submitting to a search that they can't otherwise enforce? That's a little harder, and it hasn't been tested. I think there are good arguments that they cannot. It's not like a private club.
Right. It's public property, isn't it?
But, yeah. But even if they can do that, they certainly cannot let you on the train and then come and say, okay, now we have the right to search you at random.
Exactly. What are the reasons that you actually stand up on a train? Which is obviously an action that most people would think, oh, that's weird that this guy is doing this. But what are the sort of passions that move you to have to do that?
For one, just on an individual basis, I really hate seeing people lied to. I particularly hate people being lied to by the people they're supposed to trust most, be able to trust them. No, they shouldn't trust them most, but that they're supposed to be able to trust most. And apart from that, I've been a lawyer for 22 years, and I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and it really, rubs my rhubarb to hear it being attacked by the government every morning on my commute.
I don't know about if you've seen the meme recently of the epicBeardMan but you certainly seem like a hero to me as far as being an epic beard man yourself and sort of going and defending the Constitution like that.
The epic beard man?
Yes.
Is that a graphic novel?
No, if you Google it right now, it's very much high on the list. Another sort of defender of truth and justice in the San Francisco
I'll have to
system.
check
You
it
have to
out.
check that out because you're certainly one yourself, and I appreciate it. Thanks for
Okay.
doing that. Thanks for granting the interview.